1 Kings chapter 17 introduces the prophet Elijah, a central figure in the Old Testament. The chapter opens with God instructing Elijah to deliver a message to King Ahab of Israel. Elijah boldly proclaims that there will be a severe drought in the land, and no rain will fall until he declares it. This declaration serves as a divine judgment on the wickedness and idolatry of the people and their king. Following this proclamation, God directs Elijah to a brook called Cherith, where he provides for him by sending ravens to bring him bread and meat each morning and evening. Elijah drinks from the brook and is sustained during the initial phase of the drought. As the drought continues and the brook dries up, God sends Elijah to the town of Zarephath in Sidon, where a widow will provide for him. When he arrives, he encounters the widow and her son, both of whom are in dire need. Despite her initial lack of resources, Elijah instructs her to make him a meal first, promising that her supply of flour and oil will not run out. Miraculously, the widow's supplies remain abundant, and she, her son, and Elijah are sustained throughout the famine. In summary, 1 Kings chapter 17 highlights the introduction of the prophet Elijah and his role in proclaiming a drought as a divine judgment on Israel's idolatry. It also illustrates God's miraculous provision for Elijah through the ravens and his later sustenance of a widow and her son in Sidon. Elijah's faith and obedience, along with the supernatural acts of God, play a central role in this chapter. Let's now read 1 Kings chapter 17. And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, As the Lord God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be, that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, for he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. And it came to pass after a while, that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. So he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks, and he called to her, and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her, and said, Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. And she said, As the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but an handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And, behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it, and die. And Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, The barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth. And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she, and he, and her house, did eat many days. And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by Elijah. And it came to pass after these things, that the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, fell sick, and his sickness was so sore, that there was no breath left in him. And she said unto Elijah, What have I to do with thee, O thou man of God? Art thou come unto me to call my sin to remembrance, and to slay my son? And he said unto her, Give me thy son. And he took him out of her bosom, and carried him up into a loft, where he abode, and laid him upon his own bed. And he cried unto the Lord, and said, O Lord my God, hast thou also brought evil upon the widow with whom I sojourn, by slaying her son? And he stretched himself upon the child 3 times, and cried unto the Lord, and said, O Lord my God, I pray thee, Let this child's soul come into him again. And the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came into him again, and he revived. And Elijah took the child, and brought him down out of the chamber into the house, and delivered him unto his mother. And Elijah said, See, thy son liveth. And the woman said to Elijah, Now by this I know that thou art a man of God, and that the word of the Lord in thy mouth is truth. This ends our reading of 1 Kings chapter 17.